Good evening, everyone. We have a full house, relatively full house this evening. There's a lot of really special things going to be occurring this evening, but I would like everyone to first please rise for the Honor Guard's presentation of the colors.
Honor Guard, prepare to post the colors. Forward, march. Prepare to post. Post. Reset. Arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Be seated.
Is your thing on?
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
There we go. Clerk Brady.
Trustee Vogel?
Here.
Trustee Papantos?
Present.
Trustee Vito?
Here.
Trustee Lang? Trustee Kruger?
Present.
Trustee Rafato?
Here.
President Horker?
Here, you have before you the minutes of the regular meeting of December 18th, 2023. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved. Second.
Motion trustee Papantos, second trustee Kruger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Abstain.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Rafato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, you also have before you the minutes of the regular meeting of January 15th. I need a motion for their approval.
Second.
Motion trustee Lang, second trustee Papantos. Roll call, please.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Rafato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Abstain.
And President Horker?
Yes. Any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda.
Okay.
Clerk Brady.
Proclamation commemorating the 1979 state champion Wheeling High School girls cross country team, February 2nd, 2024. Whereas among the admirable individuals being inducted into the Wheeling High School Athletic Hall of Fame in 2024 are the members of the 1979 state champion girls cross country team. And whereas, in addition to being an intrinsically impressive achievement, the 1979 girls cross country team's championship victory represents two significant firsts. In 1979 was the first year that Illinois High School Association officially recognized girls cross country as a sanctioned sport, and the team's victory was Wheeling High School's first state championship in any sport. And whereas the achievements of the 1979 girls cross country team are a testament not only to the skills and hard work of its members, but also to the support they received from coaches, faculty, and their peers, and from the athletes who came before them, inducted pioneerly pre-1979 runners who are also being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. And whereas in 1979, girls cross-country teams were served in turn as an example and inspiration to many distinguished Wheeling High School athletes who have followed them and will continue to do so for many years to come. And whereas the legacy of the 1979 state champion girls cross-country team is something that the citizens of Wheeling and other communities served by Wheeling High School can righteously recollect with pride. Patrick Horker, president of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby commemorate the members of the 1979 state championship Wheeling High School girls cross-country team for their impressive and historical achievement and calls upon Wheeling community to join in recognizing them and enduring example of excellence.
Thank you. Over the weekend, the 1979 girls track, as you just heard, track team from Wheeling High School. Cross country, I'm sorry.
It's a difference.
There, and Mary would know because she was a member of this team. It was quite an accomplishment to be the first year that they recognized it as a state sanctioned sport to be, to have a championship, and for Wheeling to be the first ones to receive it, and the first championship that the state.
Every meet before that held was more, it was actually called the Mythical State Meet. It was put on and organized by coaches from District 214 schools and other schools in the state because we were all just waiting for Title IX activity to get finished so that the, women of running could be recognized. And then I just so happened to still be on the team in '79 when it was official. And we were not only the first team to win of any sport a state championship for the school, but we were also the first for the state. So. I couldn't run a mile now without dropping a lung on the street, but But yes, it was a very proud moment, and thank you, President Horker, for being there to deliver that proclamation to the Wheeling High.
It absolutely deserves recognition, and
Hall of Fame.
and when you hear what everyone else went on to do, those who were there for the presentation, I mean, you could see that the discipline they learned for the training really carried through in their lives to be able to be focused and to be disciplined into the fields of their choice. And it really is something, athletics is something that can carry forward and does help people. So
It was a good Groundhog Day.
yes, it was also.
Thank you very much.
Clerk Brady.
Okay. Resolution granting the 2024 George Hieber Citizenship Award to Vivian Smith. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Wheeling have established the George Hieber Citizenship Award to encourage good citizenship by recognizing outstanding contributions to the Wheeling community. And whereas the President and Board of Trustees have chosen Vivian Smith as this year's recipient of the annual award. And whereas for many years, Vivian Smith, a longtime Wheeling resident, has served Wheeling through her work with a variety of volunteering organizations and fundraising groups. And whereas for close to 2 decades, Vivian volunteered her time with Wheeling area school districts to support students and raise funds for various school needs. And whereas from 1993 to 2003, Vivian volunteered as a market day operator for Prospect Heights School District 23's parent-teacher organization. And whereas from 1974 to 2012, Vivian volunteered for the Bison Wrestling Club, serving as a board member and several terms as president, where she supported Wheeling and Buffalo Grove youth wrestlers aged 5 to 14. And whereas from 2002 to 2019, Vivian served as Wheeling Spur Club, including several terms as president, where she led fundraiser efforts for the new stadium, scoreboard, gym, sound system, and wrestling mats, and volunteered her time at many Wheeling Hardwood Classic tournaments. And whereas Vivian has received the Distinguished Service Award from Township High School District 214 and was inducted into the Wheeling High School Athletics Hall of Fame as a friend of athletics in appreciation of all her volunteer and fundraising work. And whereas Vivian is also a member of Wheeling Helping Hands, a Wheeling Historical Society, serves on the board of directors of the Greater Wheeling Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and previously served on the Wheeling Park District Board of Commissioners. And whereas Vivian Smith is constantly willing to help whenever asked, takes much pride in her service, and shows a commitment to make Wheeling a better, safer, and kinder place to live. And whereas the Board of Trustees therefore awards it as fitting and proper that Vivian Smith be the recipient of the 8th Annual George Hieber Citizenship Award. Therefore, be it resolved by the President and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Wheeling, Counties of Cook and Lake, State of Illinois, that the 2024 George Hieber Citizenship Award is hereby granted to Vivian Smith in recognition of her exemplary citizenship, with the thanks of the Board of Trustees for her service.
Is this one on? There we go. The athletics I was just talking about earlier. I mean, you were responsible for years and years of instilling that discipline and dedication in countless students. And your other activities, contributing your time to the village certainly do warrant recognition. We have the fancy plaque and a framed copy of the proclamation, the recognition that was just read. You will have your name engraved on the plaque downstairs, permanently welcoming you, or recognizing you and your contributions to the community. Activities like you have participated in really pull a community together, and outstanding citizens like you are what is required to make a community significant and vibrant, and just thank you for your commitment to the village. Do you have some guests you would like to recognize?
I have half of my grandchildren's children here and my husband, and thank you all for coming, and lots of friends.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have a lot of people in uniform here tonight. Why is that?
We're going to swear in a sergeant tonight.
Chief Dunn, why are the Brotherhood in Blue here tonight?
Thank you, President Horker. Tonight, we have the opportunity to celebrate one of our own and promote her to the rank of sergeant. And we appreciate the opportunity to do it here in front of you and the board. And as you can see, the members of her brothers and sisters in blue and our brothers at the fire department are joined us tonight. And Dorann, why don't you step up here?
Was that a cultural faux pas, the Brotherhood in Blue?
Always.
On his part. I'm old.
So am I. Class of 79. I'd like to introduce Dorann Swanson to you, for those who don't know her. but Dorann has been an integral part of the department since joining us in 1997. Throughout her tenure, she has held various key positions, showcasing her versatility and dedication. Her roles have included serving as a school resource officer, bicycle officer, juvenile officer, defensive tactics instructor, and CPR instructor. In recognition of her leadership and contributions, she was appointed to the position of corporal in August of '21. Sergeant Swanson has played a crucial role in our transition of the communication centers to Northwest Central Dispatch. Beyond her official duties, Sergeant Swanson has been a mentor to our female staff within the department and in the community. Her leadership serves as an exemplary model for our current and future members. Through her multifaceted contributions and dedication to both operational excellence and mentorship, Sergeant Swanson has proven to be a valuable asset to the department throughout her commendable career, and we look forward to her leadership and mentorship as we move forward. In a moment, we'll swear you in, but do you have any guests here you'd like to introduce?
Yes, I have my sister Suzanne, my sister Diane, my nephew Mike, his wife Anna, my surprise, his boys Tristan and Braden, and my partner Len.
Awesome.
Okay, make sure to talk in there, they said.
Okay.
Raise your right hand. I, Dorann Swanson,
I, Dorann Swanson,
having been promoted to the position of sergeant
having been promoted to the position of sergeant
in the police departments of the Village of Wheeling,
in the police departments in the Village of Wheeling,
in the counties of Cook and Lake,
in the counties of Cook and Lake,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of sergeant
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
He's like, there's a lot of people here.
Thank you to all my brothers and sisters in blue and other members of the police department and fire department for coming out tonight. I've worked with a lot of you for many, many years, and I think it's a testament to how much I enjoy this job that I'm still here. So, thank you.
It's certainly an evening for, what was it, celebration and merriment? Merriment. So there's cake and refreshments in the lobby. I would like a motion to recess for 10 minutes.
Second.
Motion, trustee Rufato, second, trustee Kruger. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
If you don't want to go, you don't have to. But there's cake and juice.
Incredible.
Used up 12 of your 10 minutes for cake and juice.
So good. The frosting is even it's like no.
Trustee Vogel. I'd like to call the meeting to order. All right, the festivities and frivolities for the evening have been completed. I need a motion to reconvene into regular meeting.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
I saw Trustee Lang wave first. Trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
Trustee Krueger,
Yes.
Trustee Rufato,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Okay, yes.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, citizens' concerns and comments?
Not today.
Moving right on to the meat of the meeting. Consent agenda, please.
Okay. Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless the board members or citizen so request, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. 11A, resolution granting the 2024 George Hieber Citizenship Award to Vivian Smith. 11B, resolution authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute and renew lease between the village and the Greater Wheeling Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry. 11C, ordinance amending the Village of Wheeling annual budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023, and ending December 31st, 2023. 11D, resolution approving a one-year renewal contract with Interstate Power Systems for generator maintenance and repair in the amount of $25,445 for fiscal year 2024. 11E, resolution approving a professional service agreement with Hampton, Lanzini, and Renwick, Inc. for the Lakeside Villas resurfacing project in the amount not to exceed $74,115. 11F, resolution approving an agreement with Client First Technology Consulting for consulting services for the fiber optic installation to Fire Station 42 project in the amount not to exceed $42,990. 11G, ordinance prohibiting the use of groundwater as a portable water supply by the installation or use of portable water supply wells or,
Potable.
what?
Potable.
Oh, potable, excuse me.
Okay.
Water supply wells or by any other method within a certain area in the village of Wheeling.
Questions or comments?
Can we vote on 11B separately since I'm on the board of the chamber? I'd like to abstain from 11B.
So you would like 11B removed?
Correct.
11B then becomes?
13C.
Yeah.
13C.
All right.
Motion to remove 11B?
We don't need a motion.
Don't need a motion? Thank you, that's what you're, awesome. Motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
So moved.
Trustee
Second.
Vogel, second. Trustee Krueger, roll call, please.
Trustee Krueger,
Yes.
Trustee Rufato,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes. New business, Clerk Brady.
13A, ordinance granting a variation to permit a wall sign on the west facade which does not front a street nor is adjacent to any off-street parking areas for American Energy Technologies Company, 265 Alice Street, docket number PV 23-0010.
Mr. Clicker,
Yes, as Clerk Brady said, this is a variation request for a wall sign which does not front the street or is adjacent to off-street parking for American Energy's Technology Company. This sign was installed without a permit, and it was brought to their attention that it needed to be either removed or a variation obtained. They presented in front of the Plan Commission on January 10th. The Plan Commission unanimously recommended denial of this request. So just to clarify to you, the ordinance that is presented to you is still in the affirmative. So if you concur with the Plan Commission, you would vote in the negative on this ordinance and vice versa. The petitioner, after the Plan Commission hearing, did provide a letter which they believe further explains the need for the sign, and that was also included in your packets. The petitioner is here in case there are any questions.
Questions or comments from the board? Trustee Lang?
So my question is to staff, Mr. Clicker. I know the sign wasn't approved prior to be putting up. Is that the major sticking point, other than the fact, well, our ordinance doesn't call for a sign to be on that side of the
Correct.
building? Does it set a bad precedent if they did all the right things and asked for that sign from the very beginning before they put it up?
No,
Does it set a
in this
bad
particular,
precedent
yeah.
having that sign?
In the fact that the Plan Commission has in the last year and a half or so redone the entire sign code, they felt very strongly about this provision when they put it in, that the signs needed to be either fronting a street or the parking lot for the applicable property. Whether the sign was installed with or without a permit, I don't think influenced their decision at all.
You're right. You reminded us that it was just gone over, and pretty intently by the Plan Commission. Okay, thanks. That answered my question.
Trustee Vito?
What, Director Clicker or anyone else who can answer, what's the point of the prohibition?
It's so that people, if the sign is abutting either not the street or not a parking lot that is adjacent or for the purposes of that business, it's to prevent or to discourage people from coming to the improper entrances to the building. In this case, this sign, it would lead you to believe that there would be a public entrance along that side. That parking lot is actually for Munchie's Supplies, and you'd be parking in the wrong parking lot and trying to access the building through a way that is not intended for public use.
Is the petitioner here?
Please introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Igor Barsakov. I'm one of the managers at American Energy Technologies Company. It's good to be here. I just, by way of introduction, wanted to say that we had the pleasure of speaking in front of the board of the village a couple years ago when the decision was made to acquire property here in Wheeling. As you might know, the property stood vacant for 3, 4, 5 years perhaps, and we picked it up, and we not only remodeled it, but we also added a new building, and what we believe is we created a very elegant, nice-looking building as opposed to what it used to be there. Also, I wanted to use this opportunity to thank Mr. Clicker and everyone on the approval board, right? Who worked with us and authorized that new building addition to be built. Okay. And with your permission, I wanted to say a couple things. Well, first of all, about our business. So we are a high-tech business. We moved in on January 1st after receiving temporary occupancy permit. We immediately created 25 jobs. We are a woman-owned company. Very proud. Our president is another doctor, Dr. Maya. Okay, we work with Department of Defense quite heavily, and I wanted to just, by way of updating, tell you that as of the time that we moved, our company got approved by Defense Logistics Agency to be a supplier of critical parts to nuclear submarines, Virginia class and Los Angeles class. And actually my colleagues who are here, besides being co-petitioners with me, they are also technically savvy people who are actually making sure that American might is projected in Southeast Asia, in near China border in sea. And also I wanted to update you that our business, after we already moved in, and basically we're talking January 1st, so it's been only 1 month, we've been selected by European Union to be the processor of choice and technology provider of choice to European battery industry to enable recycling of lithium-ion batteries that come from electric vehicles in Europe and that come from stationary storage, which are wind farms and solar farms. So I just got back from Austria, where we had grand kickoff meeting, and that's going to be quite a project for the next 3 years. So I wanted to first convey who we are, that we are really a high-tech company and doing something good for Wheeling, and we are very grateful that you're listening to what we have to say here. Okay, and the situation with the sign, I have here an image in the evening, taken in the evening. So this sign is permitted. This is new building which we added, and this sign is not permitted. Okay, and
Whose parking lot is that?
well, okay, so this parking lot belongs to Munch Supply, but fire department made us put a walkway between Munch Supply and this building. So, yeah, technically it faces the parking lot here, and in the petition, we are making a point that we are making the area safer because this is the only way to actually illuminate the parking lot in that area. And there are many other things, such as there is a Knoll Street. If you come from the north, if you're standing right here, you look and this is the only beacon which you see. This is the sign. So, we frankly cannot agree with some of the comments made by the commission. They pointed to this tree. They said when this tree will grow leaves, then this tree is the leaves from this tree are going to block this sign. Which honestly, you look at this picture, you don't see how this might happen. But the reality is people who are coming from this road, from north, from Hinds, down on Knoll Street, before making a left turn, instead of wandering around, they see this sign, okay, this is the beacon, and they're going to be finding us, okay? So, but there is another point, it's being said that we put those signs without a permit. This is not 100% accurate. Technically, it's accurate, but it's not accurate because we went through 5 revisions in our architectural drawings. On each one of those 5 revisions, we had a sheet, one of the sheets, which is Façade's view, and those 2 signs were clearly displayed there. And it's an unfortunate situation. We did not realize that we need to seek additional separate permit for signs besides those Façades which we were, providing during 5 revisions. So, but now we are running into a situation where, there is an ordinance, and I understand that nobody wants to set the precedent. But if we remove this sign, not only we will remove illumination, but we will also make this building kind of ugly, because there are also rules of beauty, rules of architectural design, where you have one element here, you have to have a repeating element on the other side, right? And those are nuances, but like coming back from Vienna, two architects who designed the Opera House were critiqued, and then one ended up with suicide, another died from heart attack. So those architectural matters, they do mean something, okay? And our architect is really taking it very personally. Yeah, like, you know, he believes if this sign were to be dropped, then we're going to lose some of the charm of the building. And he's like an old school, you know, very good classic architect, and he just, you know, cannot even talk. It's like heartbroken. So there are arguments. Yes, we understand there are rules, but I guess there are also rules of beauty and rules of safety and rules of not wandering around the streets. So we are humbly asking the village board to really recognize the beauty of this building, you know, on the backdrop of all the warehouses which are on that street, and recognize that this is a unique building on that street, and it offers some aesthetic value besides just being another one, you know, another building out there. So.
What did it cost to put in, and what's it going to cost to take down?
Yeah, I mean, cost of a sign is about, what, $7,000 without putting it up. So yeah, I mean, we could swallow it, okay, but it's just, you know, I'm asking as a citizen, as you know, it's just, if you think about it, just let's remove it, and then the building all of a sudden becomes ugly. You know, and I'd like to say that this is, you know, a technology street. There are no houses. It's not like this sign is beaming into somebody's window or anything like that. There are no residences nearby. So it is not like people need to buy curtains to cover their, you know, their windows, and, you know, so that's the situation we have.
All done?
I'm all done.
Trustee Papantos, then trustee Vogel.
Thank you. Congratulations on your success so quickly, and welcome to Wheeling. I remember when you came in 2 years ago, and I think this whole board was probably here at that point.
Thank you.
You're dealing with Department of Defense and the EU and probably other governmental agencies. They all have rules, they all have guidelines. They're not going to buy, it looks better. You know, you follow codes, and we have a code for a reason. And as Trustee Lang pointed out, our PC and this board just recently approved major changes and a major review to our sign code to try to make it as fair as possible to everybody, and at the same time make it worthwhile. When I first looked at this, I thought that was your parking lot, and to me, having the sign there would guide my car in to park there versus on the east side of the building. When I watched the Plan Commission meeting, one of the commissioners suggested moving the sign to the east side because you don't have anything on the east side where your parking lot is and where people would theoretically go. And to tell you the truth, I don't believe that, your building is beautiful. I don't think the sign is making it beautiful on that side. I mean, it's an interesting argument, but if it wasn't there, I wouldn't say, oh, the building's missing something. And I did look it up. The ordinance, when you received approval, did include permitting the signs. It was well-written. It was one of the conditions that we all approved when we said yes to you building here. So it was there. It wasn't an oversight on the village's part. You need to follow the codes and the guidelines, and I'm sure your architect knows that too.
Yeah. I agree with you. You know, it's a personal situation. We had a person who was managing the project. He retired, moved to California, and that got lost in translation. We don't blame the village, of course. You know, the fault is ours. But you know, the argument here is that you know, our architect is really heartbroken. Okay, and it's not just him. the entire group, and,
Well, you can tell them that, the building looks great. I don't think the sign is,
yeah.
you know.
When you are remodeling something, everywhere here, if you have one element, in order for it to look beautiful, you need to have the same element repeating elsewhere. And this is the situation here. So we remove this, many people whom we talk to, and we kind of live in this building, we think it becomes ugly. So, but I mean, yeah. But some of the arguments which were made during the appearance commission, we can't really agree with them, especially about growing leaves, which the photo clearly says that those leaves are not going to be in the way, right? So we are just looking for cooperation. It's, we pay for this sign, it's just the exception because our building is really unique there, right? A bunch of warehouses. There is this crazy practice where people are putting temporary signs about employment, including on our parking lot. So if we let this sign stay there, there would never be a reason for us to put any of those temporary.
If you see temporary signs, just call 459 code and the village will take care of that.
Well, but this is
Right,
the
but
effect of life, that street has dozens of those things, and we would never have to do that.
I have a feeling our inspectors will be driving down there
Yeah.
more often. Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you. I mean, I understand. There are rules, I understand, okay? But there are also rules of architecture, rules of beauty. So you have this collision of two things, and,
Thank you, Trustee Papantos, Trustee Vogel, and then Trustee Rufato. There's more questions.
How is most of your business generated? Do you have walk-in customers that visit your building, or is it, so you do?
We have a number of, majority of our customers are, in Australia, in Canada,
Okay,
in
but
Great
again,
Britain.
how do they contact you?
Yeah,
Do they come into your building, or do they communicate via phone, or via fax, or via text messages?
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is, how many visitors do you have to this building?
We do have visitors,
Okay.
because all of these customers eventually come and visit
All right,
us.
that's what I wanted to know. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trustee Vogel. Trustee Rufato?
Thank you. So I'm looking at the east elevation. Does that sign exist on the east elevation? I'm looking at your letter to the board dated January 17th, and there's elevations. Does the sign on the east side exist? It does.
So there is a sign which faces the parking lot. It's on the east side. It is not exactly on the east, but it's like normal to that, on that same wall, but it's located normal.
On the wall, yeah.
Yeah, so this is what you are asking.
Yes, right,
so,
yep.
So the elevation shows sign here, but instead it was put here. So there is a sign on
Okay.
east side.
Do you have signs directing your customers to the entrance?
Well, sure, yes.
You do have it or you don't have it?
Well,
Because
so we have a big sign on the street, right?
Yes, right.
Yes, street sign. So it is directing customers to the parking lot, and then as people drive into the parking lot, the first thing they see is a big sign, which you see in this example.
Well, but you're directing them to the parking lot of Munch, the building next to you. That's what I'm saying.
But we never had anyone stop there.
Okay.
Somehow people are easily finding our entrance. We didn't have one instance when somebody actually parked at Munch Supply.
All right. Thank you. That was all.
Thank you, trustee Rufato. Any other questions or comments from the board? It sure seems like that would fit in the window. Just my observation.
Pat, I have one other thing to say.
Trustee Lang.
I can. So, it's come to my attention that in order to approve this, we'd have to, in the facts and findings, or in the ordinance, we'd have to have all the, in section A of this variance request, all those have to be approved. And I can't see, based on what we have here, right?
Yeah, to grant a variation from the sign code, all four of the standards in section A have to be met. Not one of the four, two of the, all four. And if you look at the ordinance, they're very specific about what you have to find as a board. The first is that the literal interpretation and strict application of the provisions and requirements of the code would cause undue and unnecessary hardship to the sign applicant or user because of unique or unusual conditions pertaining to the specific building, premises, parcel, or property in question. Two, the granting of the requested variation would not be materially detrimental to the property owners in the vicinity. Three, the unusual conditions applicable to the specific property do not apply generally to other properties in the village. And four, all four of these, the granting of the variation will not be contrary to the general objective of this code and moderating the size, number, and obtrusive placement of signs and reduction of clutter. So all four of those standards have to be met in order for this ordinance to be approved. That's the finding you have to make individually.
And in fairness, if I may say, we did fill out a questionnaire
They have that.
addressing.
They have
yeah.
it, it's in the packet. I just want to remind them that those are the standards that have to be met.
Just for my own clarification, Mr. Clicker, a vote, relax, a vote to approve the ordinance as permitted would do, as written, would do what?
If you vote in the affirmative, it would be approving the variation and going against the recommendation of the Plan Commission. If you go with the recommendation of the Plan Commission, the vote would be in the negative to deny the variation request.
Okay. Every now and then that gets confusing, and I
Correct.
just want to make sure I've got it square in my head. Any other questions? Left, right?
So moved.
Move to approve as written. Trustee Lang, second.
Second.
Oh, I was going to fail first look. Trustee Rufato. All right, with everything in mind, Clerk Brady.
Trustee Rufato?
No.
Trustee Vogel?
No.
Trustee Papantos?
No.
Trustee Vito?
No.
Trustee Lang?
No.
Trustee Krueger?
No.
President Horker?
No, but I do like the sign. Sorry.
Right. Well, thank you anyway.
Thank you for trying. 13B.
Ordinance granting special use approval to permit an entertainment establishment for Headless Horseman Arcade, 1918 South Wolf Road, docket number PSU 23-0017.
Mr. Clicker, what do we got?
This is a special use we seek for an entertainment establishment called Headless Horseman Arcade, video game facility, 1918 South Wolf. This was heard at the Plan Commission on January 24th. The Plan Commission did recommend approval. And my mic was not on, so I'll do that again.
It was not on.
So this
And
is
I'm
a-
in charge this week, so look out.
It's a special use request as stated for a video game arcade facility at 1918 South Wolf. It would be, it was heard at the Plan Commission on January 24th, and they recommended approval of this request. There you go.
Sorry, my eyes are flashing. Questions or comments from the board? Trustee Lang,
Just a quick comment.
want to come on up and introduce yourself?
Yeah, introduce yourself and
I'm Uday Kumra. I'm the owner of the Headless Horseman Arcade.
Hi.
Hi.
just give a overview for everybody of what you're,
Sure. So, well, what I'm proposing is entertainment venue. And it's not going to be anything like the typical 80s, 90s arcades where people come and they bring their quarters and they put some quarters in. It's already going to have probably about 100 games on free play. People will come in, pay an admission, and then they can play all day. If they want to go get something to eat, they can come back with their receipt. And it's pretty much a day pass, okay? And, you know, it's good in a way because it brings a lot of people together. A lot of people, you know, they want to do this on their phones, or they want to, you know, they don't want to go out. And a lot of people don't want to go out. I think it's going to bring a lot of people to the area. I think it's going to bring that area to life because I looked around there and there isn't a whole lot around there. So it would be really nice if, you know, across the street people started building and opening restaurants and things like that, you know, and they go to the arcade and go to the restaurant and come back. Constantly looking to grow it and expand it. I'm looking to have events there, parties, corporate there would be like a party room, like birthday parties, not, you know, crazy parties or anything. And then releasing a new game every week or 2 weeks, depending on, you know, what I can do. And then, you know, fundraising events, holiday events, things like this. It's community driven. It's going to be scores that people will try to achieve on each game. Their name will be posted on a card on each game. And they can look online to see if their score was beaten. They're going to go on orcade.com, which shows all the scores. All this whole thing is based on Galloping Ghost Arcade out in Brookfield, Illinois. He's been doing this for 14 years. He's my good friend and mentor, helping me try to set this up the last 4 years. I'm looking at opening times, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. On weekdays. Well, except Friday and Saturday would be 11 a.m. to 12 midnight. No school-age children until 4 p.m. unless I know that, you know, that's a national holiday. We want to keep promoting education. We don't want kids, you know, to be where they shouldn't be when they should be in school. I think that's really important. And then the entry, the payment on entry, I think it prevents a lot of problems where people aren't just hanging out if they don't intend to play. And I've seen people, they'll come in, they'll pay their entry fee, they'll play, then they'll go. And it's usually people stay about 2 or 3 hours. This is what I've seen at Galloping Ghost over the years. So.
I'm glad that you found a suitable location. I know you tried
Yeah.
at one time, and the landlord changed his mind, but I'm glad you're found a location in Wheeling. That's great. It looks like
I'm
a
excited.
great business. Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Lang. Trustee Papantos?
Thank you. Welcome to Wheeling, first of all. It's interesting. I had to read it 3 times just to wrap my head around what was going on, because I'm old. We didn't have that kind of thing. So this won't be connected to the internet, per se?
No, the place itself won't be on the internet, but if someone achieves like a high score, let's say in Pac-Man, you know, the local score will be posted on the internet, but it's not going to be connected. So I will put their name on a card on the machine. They'll come in, they can see their name there as long as the score wasn't beaten, and then it'll be posted on orcade.com. So if they have a membership to that website, they can see their score online.
Are you going to do anything to limit the age of children who come in and, you know, their parents dropping them off as a $20 babysitter for 4 hours?
Yeah, no, I did think about that. I think, you know, I think 12 and up is maybe appropriate if they want to drop them off, maybe 13 and up.
That's what I, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't want to see a
Kind of depends on the
8-year-old
maturity,
sitting
but
there.
yeah, no, definitely not. And if I see them walk in and they're like, bye, I'm like, you have to stay, or here's your money back. So, you know, they should stay with their child. I think it is not a babysitting service. There's a lot of adults there. And, you know, I hope a parent's not leaving an 8-year-old in a public place alone. You know, we would hope, but we can't count on that, you know? Yeah, no, I get it. I'm a nurse too. I'm a former nurse, critical care nurse, so, you know, safety's like huge for me, you know, so I watch these things carefully, so.
So, and you mentioned, though, that people had to pay to be there. So if a parent comes in and, let's say I bring a grandchild in or something, I don't want to play per se, would I be allowed to stay and just let them play? In other words, I'm there watching my children?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not gonna play, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
And would you rent your facility out for birthday parties?
Well, there's a section that we just have for a particular party room, and it would be in 4-hour time slots. That if someone wanted to rent the space for 4 hours, they would use that. They would probably pay for that time plus an admission fee.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Papantos. Any other questions or none? I would be looking for a motion to, sounds interesting.
Thank you.
Be looking for a motion to approve. Trustee
Moved.
Façade, second.
Second.
Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
like
you
fun.
very much, all of you. I appreciate it. Do the best I can to make it amazing.
Looks like it'll be fun. Clerk Brady, 13C.
Oh, yeah.
Used to be 11. Did we pay the bill?
It's this.
Oh.
Time they
Oh,
change.
okay.
Every time they change that, we have a seizure.
Glad it's not me.
So 13C, authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute a renewed lease between the village and the Greater Wheeling Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Trustee Vito asked for this to be removed and relocated for very specific reasons. Anything anybody wants to say? No?
The description is this is a 2-year extension of the chamber lease that we've had in place for several years. $1 a month, the village has allowed the chamber to use the space here in the village hall. So this new term goes from 3/1/24 to 2/28/26. This is a resolution approving that lease. The prior lease expired a few months ago, so they've been operating on a month-to-month basis. No changes otherwise.
This is a very generous donation on our part.
Say so?
I just had to say that.
President Horker,
What?
did we ever calculate the value?
I'll bet it's more than $12.
Well, I'm sure it is. I mean,
It-
I think it's
It was
something-
calculated. It's in our budget.
It's in the budget.
Yeah.
And people have been made aware of it. Okay. Thank you. That was all.
Thank you,
I'll
trustee
make a motion
Vogel.
to approve.
Motion to
Second.
approve, trustee Vogel, second?
Second.
Are you waving at me? What are you?
Pointing to
Trustee
Trustee
Papantos. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Abstain?
That's right. And President Horker?
Yes. Official communications. Clerk Brady, you have something?
Yes, I do. Voter registration. If you have an Illinois driver's license or state ID, you can register online through the Illinois State Board of Election website. Please note that online registration ends March 3rd. If you wish to register in person, you will need 2 forms of ID. One with your current address. In-person voter registration ends February 20th. Early voting. For the March 19, 2024 presidential primary election, traditional early voting will take place March 4th through 18th. For early voting locations and other ways to vote, go to www.cookcountyclerkil.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. If there's no other communications or business, we do have the bills for January 11th through January 31st, 2024. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Krueger, roll call, please.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, we have an executive session this evening for the purposes of pending probable and/or imminent litigation. That being the case, I need a motion to recess into executive session and adjourn the regular meeting.
So moved.
Trustee Rufato, second.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger, President
Yes.
Horker.
Yes, it is 7:41. This meeting is recessed to the executive session room at 7:45. Well, I was going to say 2, but we're a half a minute in.
All right, 7:43.
I already said 5, and I have the hammer.
Now.
It's in a hurry.